Hey James, how's it going?
Right.
Tell us about the last few weeks and the retirement and the situation with not being in this squad for the two games and coming back um, for the friendly next month for the big farewell. And obviously, Stephen said that potentially if there was a playoff, you might be available for that. Can you give us as much info as you can on your sort of thought process behind it all?
Yeah, I will, but I'll do that next month. Today we're here to talk about the obviously an important topic on the initiative, the scholarship, and I just want to focus on that. Next month, we'll talk about the other stuff. But I feel this is important today to just fully focus on this.
Yeah, can you chat about then the process that went into it? Obviously, Gavin Bazunu has been talking, yourself, Seamus Coleman, very involved. How involved have you been in what's gone on?
Very involved. It was an idea first brought this by our agent, Graham Barrett. It's something that as the three of us and the players that got involved initially through COVID, they helped the players in the league. Like Gavin said, it touched on earlier, there was a lot of that money still left over. We wanted to put that to good use. The league is something that is very dear to the players involved. It's where we got our education, and we want to put a good cause and kind of help the league in some way and help the next generation, because my view is if you have a strong league, you'll end up having a strong national team, because a lot of players have come through the league to play for the national team, and the stronger the league, obviously the stronger the national team. That's the aim anyway, and this is just a start. And if obviously we can get the proper funding and backing behind it too, it's got the potential to be something really, really big.
Yeah, because as you say, this it feels like a starting point, and there's probably only so much that players can do. It does require backing from the organization, backing from the government. There's been a huge amount of talk about funding over recent months. How aware of that have you been, and what would you like to see happen in terms of government funding for football in the country?
Well, now that obviously the association's on board now, which I think is vital. It's key. It's great. The next step then is to get the funding from the government, get their back, and because that's going to take it again on the a bigger platform, a whole new level. But you look at obviously from when I left the league back in 2011 to now, nothing's really changed. Nothing's changed at all. And you look at the development and what young players get here in England, and it's it's no coincidence that they're doing so well at a national level because of that. And it's going to take time, obviously, a lot of time to get to that level. But you have to start somewhere, and hopefully this is the start of uh, something towards success for the league, and ultimately then for the benefit of the national team.
Because there is obviously a good crop of young players within the squad now, and there's a success at underage level as well. But it's an interesting point you raise. Like when you think going back to Sunderland, the facilities they would have had
Yeah.
there, you've been around the league, you've seen what's commonplace in English football, and it's just not there in Ireland. And
I,
the
I
players
just
are having to stay for longer.
yeah, well, like I said, I obviously speak from my experience. Like I had no, not really any of the access. I didn't know how to do a squat until I went to Sunderland. Things like that. And I'm seeing 15, 16-year-olds in the gym, and they're far more advanced than I was. And I went across to 22, and they're so much more advanced because they have that from an early age. And if, you know, we can get the younger players in the League of Ireland doing that, again, like I said, it's massive. It's going to benefit the whole league, and we have to start somewhere. It's actually a shame in a way that we're in 2023 and our national league doesn't even have that. Our domestic league are already. So, like I said, it's something that we're at the early stages, but it's definitely got the potential to go where we wanted to go.
Is it you've spoken about often as a senior international team group about how you can give back to to football and the League of Ireland? There's so many players now in that senior squad who started out domestically.
Well, this is, like I said, this is the first step. You know, we have to see how this goes. But like I said, I'm excited by the potential. It's because, you know, the league is something. It's quite, you know, close to my heart. It's close to the people involved's heart. You know, that's where we came through. That's what gave us our first start in football. And look, I'm still a massive Derry City fan, as Gavin is a Shamrock Rovers fan, and I know Seamus keeps an eye on the Sligo results and the Fanhurst results as well. Like, so, you know, like I said, you know, we want the league. They obviously thrive. We want the young players in the league coming through. They thrive. And then again, like I said, the ultimate goal is you have a strong domestic league. It's going to help benefit the national team, because of history shows how many players have come through the league without that, you know, head start anyway. They're going to be success at international level.
Thanks, James.
James,
All right.
yeah, just like to follow up a little bit on what you talked about there. I mean, it's a great gesture that the players have done this, but like in an ideal world, would you hope that the catalyst for this was coming from government or from the FAI or from other sources?
Yeah, like you said, in an ideal world, but in the same sense, it doesn't matter how we get there, as long as we get there. You know, the FAI now are fully on board with, which is great. You know, we've got their backing, and they're obviously going to propel the new level. But then the ultimate goal is to get that government funding, you know, because that then will take it somewhat close to where we want to get. Because, you know, we don't have probably the financial backing of what the government has. So, you know, if we can obviously get them on board, you know, that's kind of going to be massive.
I think you spoke recently, I think you had something on Instagram. It was about, say, League Two and reactions to you playing in League Two, and the broader debates about sort of, you know, League of Ireland players around the squad. And just to follow on from that, like, has even going down to League Two been an eye opener for you in terms of probably, I know Wrexham are quite, well, maybe a club that's in a good place, but just generally, you know, facilities, standards, and all these things relative to what we're dealing with here at home?
Oh, well, like I said, that point I made, like I'm at League Two now, but the facilities here, you know, are miles ahead of the League of Ireland standard, and this is the third tier in English football. Do you know what I mean? You have the Premier League, and then obviously from the EFL is this third tier. So, and that's miles ahead of our domestic league, our Premier Division. So that's like I said, in 2023, that shouldn't be the case. Our league back home, domestic league, should be stronger than what it is, and I think that's always kind of been an issue, and it's always kind of held people back, and kind of in a way probably held the national team back in a way.
I was just going to say, I think 7 players who started last night had played in the League of Ireland at some stage. Like, sometimes it feels like it can be a struggle to explain to people the link between the two. But do you think it should be as clear as ever now that one will lead to the other?
Yeah, well, you hope so. Like, but you look how our domestic teams do in Europe. You know, we don't, very, very rarely, you know, it's seen as a massive success if one of our domestic teams get to the group stage, you know, and that comes from not a great domestic league. Like, you might as well put your hand up and say how it is. It could be a lot better. That if we have a better domestic league, if we have better things in place for young players coming through, where they get this head start at an early age, you know, ultimately it's going to benefit the league. If it benefits the league, you're going to get stronger teams. You're going to get, you know, teams doing better in Europe. Like, I look at some of the countries that knock our domestic teams out in Europe, and you're thinking, you know, that should not be the case. Like, we should be qualifying a lot more than we are, and again, that comes down to we need a stronger league.
Ian, sorry, it's Gary here from the Star. I just wanted to ask, do you envisage a situation developing whereby the players that are involved in this project will end up going to government to lobby and to try and convince them to sit down with the respective ministers and to try and convince them to invest in this?
Well, we hope we don't have to commit them too much because it should be a really straightforward thing. You know, it's something that's going to, like I said, benefit our domestic league, and hopefully benefit the national team in the process. So, you know, it shouldn't really be a fight. You know, we'll put the idea to them, and we're hoping that they get on board with it. And like, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't, because like I said, it's got so many benefits to it where it shouldn't even be. It should be non-negotiable. So hopefully we get them on board.
Okay, thank you.
John Fallon is in the airport, so I can't ask any questions. So Owen, if you want to take any questions, or no, Dan, if you have any further questions, then we can probably wrap up.
We're probably all fine here. Sorry, maybe one last thing. I mean, I appreciate, James. Sorry, it's a once-off contribution that dates back to COVID times. But I mean, I know, as you said, it should be a non-negotiable. But do you think players would be open to contributing again, you know, towards this, or should it have to come to that? I guess
it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have to come to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be our job to basically fund the league and make the league better. You know, like, it should be like a government funded thing anyway. You know, we should. So look, it's a start from our end. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter how you get started. The ultimate aim is to get where you want to be, and we appreciate all the help along the way. And you know, the FAI being involved obviously is massive, and it's, you know, we're grateful to them, and they can obviously help take it to a new level. But I think we need to get the government level. We need government funding, and if we get that, then I think the sky's the limit. Really, like it should. At the minute, the aim is to get one girl and one boy, but you know, the ultimate goal is to get a lot more. Get a proper scholarship program where, you know, our young talent coming through, boys and girls, you know, they've got the best facilities and the best access to get an education. If, you know, the football thing doesn't work out, but they should have the best tools available too, to give them the best chance of making it professionally.
Right, if I could ask one more there, James.
Hey, John Gary.
Do you feel this could make a really significant difference to international team results in a over the long term period? If the scheme,
yeah, I think so, because if you look at what our national team over the years, you know, a lot of players have come through the league, and that's without that head start. So if we get our young talent that head start and the best tools available to help them become the best athlete possible, to then go on to the league, which is ultimately going to make the league a bit stronger. And if we have a stronger domestic league, then that will, you know, benefit the national team, and we'll have a stronger national team. And, you know, that's, like I said, that's the ultimate goal. I think that's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, thanks guys. Really appreciate you jumping on, and really appreciate James spending his time on a Tuesday evening to spend his time with us. So thanks everyone. Thanks for your coverage, and we'll speak soon, I'm sure. Cheers, James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, bye.